Welcome everybody to the Watchlist, your weekly virtual TV guide wheel. We'll review all the shows that get released and movies on streaming. Of course, my name is Jose. I'm joined by my usual co-host for this, the TV guru himself, live from Houston, el Señor Jaime, aka Chewy. How you doing, big bro?
Hey brother, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Doing good, man. We got a not as big a week as last week, but I think a better week
No,
in terms of quality than last week.
I probably,
Yeah, doesn't say a
probably.
whole lot, but I'm just saying. Listen, there was no a re-release of Beckett or a sequel, so
Yeah,
we all
sure.
win. So on that one.
And we're 1 week closer to the start of the fantasy football season.
That's true. Football coming up, so something that occupy our Sunday. So we have to watch all the shows
Yeah,
before then, basically. Um,
yeah. Sunday is a no
so
go.
Sundays. It's all about football. It is what it is, and well, at least for the first few weeks, while the team still has some hope, and then when they start losing, it's like, all right,
All
back
right,
to
time to
Netflix
move
and
on.
move on. So it is what it is. That being said, also next week, whilst it is the end of the month, so obviously we'll keep reviewing all the shows that come out, but we'll also be setting the table for September and see what's coming out
Mhm.
that month and all. You got some big movies coming out pretty soon anyway. So that being said, you ready to do this? Get started here?
Let's do this,
All right,
man.
so
I'm
let's do
ready.
it. So let's start with we start with the movies, the big releases. Obviously, the bigger one out of the two this week was on HBO Max, same day as release in the theaters. That's Reminiscence, of course, starring the one and only Hugh Jackman. Um,
And not the better of the two releases, but we'll get to that in a second.
Maybe you may be right there. I'm not going to completely argue against that. But that being said, so this one directed by
Lisa
Lisa
Joy.
Joy Wright, who's a first time director in terms of film. She
Yeah,
directed
she was showrunner on the last season, or
right
co-showrunner on the last season of Westworld.
Westworld, right, married to Jonathan Nolan, who's
That's correct. The
Chris
brother
Nolan's
of
brother.
the famous.
Right, of course.
Yes.
And I think she tried to almost give us a Nolan type film, but this is why Nolan should only do Nolan type films, right? Because they're very complex. This one here has Hugh Jackman. It's the premise I liked. Takes place sometime in the future. They don't say where. He lives in Miami, yay, hometown.
Hmm.
And at this time where,
And
yeah, it's
underwater
underwater
Miami.
Miami. Well, a lot of cities underwater apparently. So the water has risen to high levels, and there was a big war at some point, and people now obviously trying to survive, and things are corrupt. It's Miami. It's always been corrupt. But it's a time where I think people,
See cocaine
kind
cowboys.
of, amongst others, and where I guess people sleep at night and daytime. They're actually active at night because of the heat or whatever the case is. So it kind of sets up this war, which really didn't have any real consequence to the film. So it's kind of weird that actually did that. But then notwithstanding, so he runs into something called Reminiscence, which is this machine that can extract memories and flash them up in his machine. He can see people's memories, and people like doing that because they want to kind of relive their past and the high moments. And for them, it's not just seeing the memories, but kind of feeling like almost like they're inside the memories and this mystery behind it. And
Mm.
some girl, Rebecca Ferguson, am I saying? Is it Roberta? Rebecca
Yes,
Ferguson. Rebecca,
Rebecca.
yeah, she comes in to find her keys, for example. Of course, there's more behind it, and he discovers this mystery behind her, and off to the races, if you will. Um, yeah, I don't know. It was meh, right? I mean, it was.
I would agree. It was. I mean, it was just a level above me. Watching with what playing. On my phone. Um, but it wasn't. I don't. This is nowhere near must watch. I mean, it's in that gray zone between good, mediocre, and I want to watch my phone as I watch this because I have to watch this category.
Yeah, yeah, it was. It was disappointing to say. I mean, it wasn't a bad movie. I'm not gonna say it's terrible. It's awful.
No, no, no. It's not a
It's not.
terrible
It's
movie.
just
It's got some good twists and stuff, but it's
yeah,
just
it's a
not.
missed opportunity. I
Uh,
don't think the world they set
yeah.
up and the premise was sounds cool. It just didn't do
Mm,
anything with the mystery behind it. Was kind of plain Jane, generic, kind
yeah.
of by
Yeah.
numbers, kind of thing. There's not real. I ain't finding big surprises in there. It's well made and looks cool.
I mean, there's your drug dealer, there's your corrupt cop, there's
Yeah,
rich baron, and his heirs, and
yeah. It's they could have done so much
yeah.
more with this premise, right? Something really cool and interesting. If Nolan would have do something like this, would have gotten something exactly what we expected, right?
Mm,
It's very kind of noir-ish as well. It's very kind of detective and the narration by Hugh Jackman, all that. I love Hugh
mm,
Jackman. I love Ferguson as well. But it was whatever. It's fine. I want to say don't watch it. It's got enough there to think you can. Okay, it's pretty cool. But at the end of the day, it's not. don't rush out. If you miss it, you're not missing much. Or if you're catching HBO Max, you got a couple hours to kill, whatever, right? I don't think it's that
Yeah,
good.
why not?
Yeah, it's kind of a little bit of a more of a miss than a hit on this one. The
Mm.
other movie, which obviously I think you liked better, obviously by your earlier comment, and that would be Sweet Girl, released on
Yeah.
Netflix. Of course, Sweet Girls,
Jason
and
Momoa,
Jason,
aka
yeah, the
Aquaman,
Aquaman himself,
aka Khal Drogo.
Count Drogo, and whoever he plays in C. I forget who he plays in C. Not that it matters.
I don't know, but I like C, so but I don't know. I can't remember the name of the
Right, right.
character.
I'm not a huge fan of C, but that's a different discussion for another day. So here we have this. It's kind of a action film. We have Momoa, his wife. That she had cancer and she had a chance to receive some drugs that might have helped prolong her life or help cure her, whatever the case is. And the pharmaceutical company decides to pull the drug off the market. Essentially, his wife dies, and now he's hell bent on finding out. I guess he finds about the corruption behind them, and he's hell bent on discovering who is behind it and getting his revenge, if you will. And of course, when you go out there, pharmaceutical company, it's a lot to chew on, and more than probably he expected. And so it's kind of an action thriller. This is one, again, like someone else talked about, like hit and run. It's like insert Liam Neeson. This would have been kind of kind of film what Liam Neeson would have been able to do to some degree. To some degree.
Yeah, I can't go. I don't want to go into spoilers, not
No, no,
yet,
no, no, no.
because
There's definitely a
yeah,
twist in the end which I found pretty interesting, but
yes, yes.
I don't want to
There's
say
a
it. Yeah,
big
yeah.
twist. It's not a small. It's a
No,
big
it's a big twist.
twist.
It kind of changes the perspective of the
Um,
film.
and
Yeah,
it made the film that much better. I think once that twist is revealed. So I think that's why I enjoyed it because up to that point, it's standard little tropey as far as I'm gonna exact
sure.
revenge. I know who the bad guys are, but all of a sudden there's other bad guys that he's not aware. So it's because of a bigger mystery and embroiled in bribery and all these shenanigans. But once the twist is revealed, it gives you a fresh perspective on the movie, and I found it to be definitely a lot more enjoyable than Reminiscence. I mean,
No, it's a lot more
my,
exciting movie. Reminiscence is kind of
mhm.
slow paced.
Yes,
Although
very.
a better premise than this. This is just standard. Okay, I'm gonna get revenge
Yeah,
and
yeah.
mow down the henchmen, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, it's entertaining enough. And this is not a great film. Let's not get excited. This is
No,
your mid level okay Netflix release, right? We've
I
seen
mean coming off of Beckett, this is night
this
and
is
day.
way night and day above Beckett, right? This is what I
Yes,
think Beckett was trying to do and failed.
and missed
Right. This one
badly.
was much better produced. Momoa was decent in here, and I like Dave John Washington, and I think he's a better actor, but he wasn't. He was terrible in that movie. And Momoa is okay in this film.
Hmm.
The girl, his daughter, really cool. I liked her a lot. So
Yes.
it's good
Hmm.
as it is. It's got some good action points. Like I said, the twist is really interesting. That really changed the movie for me. It made it just okay. It became like I'm not sure to like okay, it's worth a watch because it does change things up, and actually it was actually well done, unbelievable, right? Because if he just tell you what the twist is and saying it just really this
No,
is
no,
what's
this
going on, but what they set
it's
up early in the
completely
movie,
believable.
what they
Yes,
set up early
yes,
in the movie, yeah,
absolutely.
then then it makes sense. Otherwise, it would have been like, okay, like if they hadn't that beginning wasn't there, was set up as well, it would have been just ridiculous twist. It would be like, okay, really, because
Mm.
the things that go on, it's hard to talk about because we don't want to spoil it. But yeah, it's worth to watch. I mean, again, it's
I mean, I'll put it this way. If you guys are trying to decide, you got a couple hours to burn. Which one do I watch? Skip Reminiscence.
no
Go
right,
with
yeah,
go with
yeah. Gun to
Sweet
my head,
Girl.
choose one. Sweet girl. It's more entertaining. You're gonna get thinking
Yes,
more out of it. I guess
yes.
it's not gonna. Neither one's gonna
Mm-hmm.
blow you away, but this is just more entertaining. It's entertaining after at the end of the day. So and it's
Mm-hmm.
like I said,
Yeah, no, not that. I want to be entertained. I mean,
exactly, and
if
that's what it's
for
about.
nothing else, if I'm gonna spend 2 hours, excuse me, watching something on Netflix or Disney Plus, whatever, like entertain me for Christ's
No, no,
sakes.
I totally agree. Yeah, like I said, it's up to like Netflix doesn't always they barely hit high, right? Every so
No,
often you got
no.
some great, good, very good films. Most of the times they're either terrible or right in the middle. This is kind of right in the middle, like Ogar, which I liked, something like that. The one with was it?
Oh, Ogar was
It was
great.
good.
I
really
mean, I
liked
like
it. Well,
Ogar. What was
Ogar
the
is better
Chris
than this.
Hemsworth?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
Chris, yeah, oh yeah, by far. Oh, the Chris Hemsworth one, which probably in part because that would have good action, but the story was a little
right.
weak.
Power is it
Um,
Power? The one by Jamie
yeah,
Foxx.
no. Power is Jamie Foxx one. There's the
Jamie
one
Foxx.
with Chris
No, 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 that
Hemsworth
was
where he's
Extraction.
got
I think if I'm mistaken. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. But
extraction.
Power is
Yes,
another
yes,
one I
that's
meant
right.
that was like okay, it was fine. It was entertaining enough, and it looked cool and all that. So a good premise. But yes,
Yeah.
there. Like I guess it's just not Beckett. It's not a bad net because Netflix. Yes, most of the time they're shit. Right? I'll say probably 40% of garbage for the most part.
When it comes to movies, they throw a
A
lot of
lot spaghetti in
spaghetti.
the wall. A lot of it doesn't stick. This one kind of sticks, and it falls down eventually, but it does stick for a while. So enough to I said
Yeah,
go watch it. It's worth a watch.
yeah.
So those are the two movies. Now the shows, there's like three shows that came out. And let's start with Hulu because we don't talk about Hulu enough. I know we talked about Reservation Dogs last week, and Hulu got a new
Hmm.
show. Nine Perfect Strangers is a big cast. And Nicole Kidman,
Bobby
yeah,
Cannavale, Luke
Luke Evans,
Evans,
Miss Melissa
uh,
McCarthy, yeah, Samara
McCarthy,
Weaving is in this as well.
Michael
Michael
Shannon.
Shannon, all that. So it's got a big name cast, and a lot of times that doesn't always work. We've
Mm.
seen like Amazon kind of dive into those with big casts, and was it solos wasn't, which didn't quite hit that much.
Which was an anthology because
Anthology,
that had one, maybe two, one great, a couple, one good, and the rest were mediocre
right? At
to
best,
not so
right?
much. Yeah.
So this is interesting. This was here. We have these obviously nine people, different people. One family, Michael Shannon, his wife and his daughter, and a couple other. Everyone else is single by
Hmm.
themselves, and they're all.
No, there's a couple
Oh,
there.
there's a couple, right? I'm sorry, yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple. Everyone else is there by themselves.
Right,
Yes,
and I
yes.
guess they are all having some kind of personal issues, something demons going on, whatever you want to call it, and they go
Hmm.
to this some retreat, right? They're supposed to heal them mentally and give them a new perspective, and is headed by Nicole Kidman. She's the whatever you call her,
Owner, CEO,
whatever,
whatever.
right? She's the one that she possesses the magic, if you will, quote unquote, to kind of bring you new life to a new perspective and cure you or whatever the
She
case is.
brings a secret sauce.
Exactly. So it's just they're secluded, and I mean, three episodes released. It's being released every Wednesday. Correct me if I'm wrong, too, on that
Yes.
one. Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence on this, too. I don't know what you thought about it before I jump in.
Um, I mean, I get this part after 3 episodes. I guess I'm committed.
Well, you don't
But
have to be
I'm
committed.
not particularly, I'm not particularly happy. I mean, I didn't know what to expect.
Mhm.
It's got some good drama. It's got some good elements that they're exploring. Obviously, one family, the Michael Shannon family, is dealing with the son who committed suicide, and the trauma involved with that. We have Bobby Cannavale, who's a former famous football player, and kind of gets dealing with the aftermath of not having a football career, right?
Right.
And the pain and both the physical and
Yeah,
the
he had
mental
a
toll it
major injury
takes.
which took him out of football. Yeah.
Yeah, major knee injury. Yeah, took him out. So the Luke Evans character, I can't quite grasp what exactly he's dealing with.
Being a dick.
Uh, well, yeah, I goes up say.
Exactly.
And so we got a hodgepodge of characters. Some I care about, some I'm not sure. Is it a little slow? Yeah, it's a slow burn drama. Hopefully, I'm hoping it picks up and gets better, or we get to kind of get into what's going on, what's really behind this institute, and what it is they're trying to do. But yeah, I mean, it's not a recommend yet. Let's wait and see.
Yeah, I'm not. You asked me now. I'm not recommending it. It's kind of missed opportunity.
Yeah.
It's just the mystery. We don't know what the mystery is, if there is. It doesn't seem like there's anything really there to kind of grab you. It's either you're in with the
Hmm.
characters and what's going on, or you're not. The
Hmm.
show needs more, man. It's like got too much talent, and the premise is. I mean, this could be like a I don't know, fantasy island kind of thing or something like that, right? And if they really wanted to go
Me
that route,
blame, me
with that too.
blame.
But I just I don't know. It's not hitting with me. I'm gonna give it one more shot.
Yeah,
I usually three and I'm out, but I'm gonna give it one more to see what happens. If the fourth one doesn't take it anywhere, then I'm out. Because it's
you're
progressing
out.
really slowly here. It really is, and it's like, okay, can we get to the meat of the story here? We know what's going on with the characters, but what is there something behind? Obviously Nicole Kidman's got something behind it, right? Something's going on there. We just don't
Hmm.
know what it is, and I don't know if it's gonna be that interesting. I don't. I know it's based off a book, and I guess it's very popular. I don't know. I guess,
Yeah,
but
I mean, I don't know. Let's see. Let's
yeah,
see.
but it's a
Let's wait
wait.
and
Yeah,
see. I
wait and
guess at this
see. I
point.
right now I'm not recommending. I don't think you guys should watch it. If I see the fourth one that blows me away, I might next week. Let you know. Hey, listen, I'll watch it. It got good. I doubt that's gonna happen though. But yeah, so I'm gonna table this for now. It's a no for me right now. Another one came out on Netflix. Came out early. I thought it was gonna come out next week, and they released it a week early.
Yeah, I was wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that was the Chair. It's on Netflix, starring Sandra Oh,
Sandra
taking a break from
Oh,
Killing Eve, if you will, to do something a little bit different. And this one here,
doing
yes,
well.
she takes over this English department, some college, and she's now thrust to try to bring this department to the 21st century and integrate as far as the diversity in, because a bunch of old white people teaching for the most part, so you're trying to have integrate a little diversity in there.
Emphasis on the old.
Yeah, very
Old.
old. Yeah. So and then the enrollment's down, etc. So she's trying to breathe life into this department. She's got a lot of issues around her at the same time. So it's a dramedy, kind of comedy dramedy.
Mm-hmm.
And I should take the lead on this. And what you think about this? This, I think, six episodes, 30 minutes a pop, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought it was 8, but
Maybe eight. Maybe right.
about 30 minutes a pop. Yeah, I've seen 2 episodes, and I like it, man. I think it's a good show, and it has enough drama and it has enough comedy mixed into it that makes it interesting, makes it a little bit unique. So I'd recommend, yeah, go ahead and watch it because it's not our drama, so it makes it more palatable.
Yeah.
To kind of sit through, but it's got its moments, and so it's pretty interesting so far. But only 2 episodes.
Yeah, I'm 3 in, maybe 4. I might be 4. I'm sorry, and because they're easy to watch, 30 minutes. It's like watching 2 episodes of any other show essentially. But yeah, it's not bad. I like it. It's enjoyable. It's it's not laugh out loud funny. It's a humorous show. I'll put it that way. You're not gonna be. If I'm laughing out loud, but I was smiling, kind of maybe snickering. Okay, that's kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, like the father dropping off her kid to go to college, and he literally loses his car, and every morning he goes to the garage and he's like, "Shit!"
Yeah,
and that's what
the old lady. Oh, you haven't seen this part of her, and okay, I won't spoil it for you. But there's a couple of scenes that are interesting. But yeah, it's a drama. It's fine. Like I said, I it's got pretty good reviews, and I don't know if I'm on board with the hype. I don't want to say hype, but I guess the reactions to it. I think it's solid. Right? It's not a must watch for me. I don't think so.
Just to quote your previous Nerd Spending show, it's not the best thing since Logan.
No, it's not. No.
Wow.
But,
wow.
So
watch Nerd Spending if you don't want to understand that reference.
Yeah, Nerd Spending. We get all geeked out. Nerd Spending a lot of everything geek we talk about, movies, TV, and all that. So,
with Eric De Silva, the Nerd Splainer himself.
But yeah, so yeah, this is just. It's about burgers and fries, is what this is, right? It's good, satisfactory.
Yeah. I mean, short, sweet,
yeah.
To the point, entertaining.
It is. It is entertaining.
Good original story, right? It's not something you typically see as far as dramas or dramedies,
Fair
right?
Enough, yeah.
Interesting dynamic with Sandra Oh's character and her family. I think she plays a Korean of Korean descent, and the dad does hardly speak English. She has a daughter who's very rebellious.
Adopted daughter.
We have the single.
I think so.
I think
adopted,
yes.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, they do say. I don't know if you caught that, but not a spoiler. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
Whatever.
The father who's dealing with not having their child around, who kind of looks, by the looks of it, did everything for him, right? He is a famous author and professor. Some over the hill guys who just should retire because they're just stuck in the 80s, and it's the 2020s.
Like the 1880s. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Obviously, that age, technology weighs you by. Children are different. The young generation is a lot different. They grow up differently, so they're just not used to that. But yeah, let's enjoy it. I don't know as far as say it's a must watch. It's good filler, but I think it's a show you got time to check out. I think you guys might enjoy it. Another one which this was an interesting one because I was the Tale of Two Cities on this one. I was out, then I was in. And that one's on Netflix as well. It's called The Defeated.
Just when you were out, they
pulled you back in early on there. So, and this one takes place right after the ending of World War II, right?
1946. Right. So we're in Berlin, where it's already been divvied up by, obviously at that time, post World War II, Berlin was divvied up by the 4 Axis power. No, I'm sorry, Allied powers who took control of the city. We had the Russian side, French, English, and obviously the American part of Berlin. So it's an interesting dynamic because obviously if you don't study history, you don't know anything what happened during that time, and they don't really get into the how things were developed, post Reconstruction, I guess, German Reconstruction. Yeah. So it's definitely an interesting dynamic.
It is.
And so that's the premise. Well,
that's the
right?
that's the backdrop. The premise, obviously, this cop from New York, he gets sent over to Berlin to help kind of establish a police station in Berlin headed by all women at the time, and he's got like a dual purpose because he's there to do that, but he's also there to find
it's headed by. It's not everybody, but it's headed by obviously.
Well, this one guy, but the most of them are women though.
A lot of people died or arrested or they're war criminals, and so you're kind of starting from scratch. Not only literally in the reconstruction of the city because it's been bombed out, but all services are now just run by lay people, right? Whoever wants to volunteer, you want to be a police officer, raise your hand.
Right.
And they had a
Yeah.
16-year-old Jewish kid and a mother of an old, so it's like this hodgepodge of people. It's like this is who's there. This is going to do these particular jobs.
Exactly, and it's cool because you see the city's in ruins, and which is good. That adds the authenticity of it. I mean, literally buildings are just on
Yes.
the ground. There's not much there.
I mean, like, yeah, the guy gets saying he's asking for directions. Like, dude, there's no streets. There's no. You just go this way, that way. Take a turn here. Take a turn there. That's how you
Right,
get there.
exactly.
Because
Yeah,
literally, there is no
yeah.
direction. There's
Yeah,
no
there's
landmarks to
a
follow.
breakdown in social services. Crime is up for obvious reasons. People have any money, so it's that setting, and the cop who's trying to establish this police department is also there because his brother went AWOL and he's trying to find his brother who.
Now that's the kicker. That's why he's
Right,
there.
that's the real
I mean, he
reason he's there.
volunteered
Right,
because
yeah,
yes,
exactly, exactly. And
yes.
there's some political stuff on
His
there.
his
Yeah,
brother was part of the I can't remember which infantry division, but he was there. One of the first ones, at least in the context of this show, that discovered the concentration camp at Dachau.
yeah,
And so you kind of get understanding that obviously that had a transformative impact on Spicker. He was already on the edge as it was just from flashbacks of them growing
yeah,
up,
yeah. He has some
but
mental
he
issues.
underwent. Yeah, so he went. That just kind of put him over the edge and put him on this particular path of what's going on in this show.
And yeah, so and it's funny because and we have here I think Tyler Kitsch is in this. He's starring in the
Yes,
role. Tyler Kitsch, yeah.
No,
Is
no,
Tyler some of that, but that's the main character. But there's also
he was in the
yeah, I think it's
Wolverine movie.
Taylor
Yeah, he
Kitsch.
played
Yeah,
Gambit.
exactly. Yeah, and he was in a couple of things.
Yes.
I think John Carter. I don't know. Either way,
John Carter, which is a little underrated, but whatever. We'll get to that in the
agreed.
discussion.
But he's in it. So he's a story where he plays the cop, and we also have Dexter. Michael Hall, who
Yes, that's
he's
right.
eating again.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be eating soon in October, and we'll be talking a lot of Dexter. I don't think you've seen that show. Maybe you have.
No, no, no.
Dexter is great. So I can't wait. It didn't end well. I get it, but I can't wait for this season. But he's eating now. When I saw him, I didn't recognize him. He's a little bigger, a little older. I was like, is that? Oh my God, it's Dexter. So it's good to see Dexter on TV again. But yeah, so he plays. I think he's his superior, and Tyler could just
He's an
yeah.
American liaison. I'm not sure, State Department official, and they're in Germany. Yes.
Right, exactly. So it's funny because I'm watching the first episode, right? I'm like, okay, let me check this out, right? It looks good, great produced and all that, great, perfect. But then I'm watching, I'm like, dude, it's like this. It's kind of dull. I gotta be honest. Like, okay, there's no hook there. He's a cop. I get it. All right, it's like three main storylines that they're trying to develop for the most part. And I was sitting at the table, but I'm like, okay. And by towards the end of the first episode, I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna continue watching the show.
But
And then boom, they flashed like the last 5 minutes. It's kind of reminding me a little bit of Invincible, with the ending, like, oh, and you understand they kind of introduce the brother and what he's up to, right? And I was like, oh, okay, now I'm in, right? I don't want to say anything. Just surprised to see what his brother is up to there. And I was like, okay, that's what I'm talking about. That's the hook that got you. And then the subsequent episodes really start diving into that. The three storylines really start fleshing out. I'm really enjoying it, man. Particularly the brothers aspect of it. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to spoil it, but it does have, I'll say it's like a Saw-esque kind of vibe to some to the degree, right? To the degree.
I believe so.
Yeah, something along those lines. But either way, so how to introduce that, and obviously, something with the Nazis and all that. I'll leave it at that. But that was really interesting. The other storylines are starting to come through. There's a woman who got raped and she sought revenge, and now she's kind of on the run, sort of.
Well, she's working for the underground element
right, that kind of helped her get
Berlin.
revenge on the two cops, military guys who raped her to begin with. Now, so it's really,
but then she does that, then she's on the hook, right, for not only to return the favor, but for
she's all in, and
more.
obviously she's being sought by the police, et cetera, et cetera. So it looks a really interesting show. I'm really enjoying it, man. I thought it's really well made. I'm surprised considering how I started. I'm like, oh my God, can we talk about this shit when I get on the show? And I'm like, oh, you know what? It's actually very well. We can withstand the first 30, 35 minutes. It's a little bit of a chore. It gets really good. Really intriguing. Your thoughts?
No, I agree 100%. I mean, just looking at the storyline with the brother who's gone AWOL and his investigation to find out where he is. Obviously, you get the crime element from one character's perspective and how she got pulled in and what she's trying to do to survive. And then obviously you also have the dynamics of there's a Russian element involved, and they're trying to exert their influence onto the police force and try to. I mean, obviously, information is king in this type of setting, and so they're pulling pieces. They have they're trying to pull certain players to get information and get an upper hand, because obviously they're trying to gain control of the city as well. They're not just happy with one little sector, but. It's just very interesting and show a little bit unique. This is something we've seen before. and especially in this setting. And so far, it's really really good. It's really got your hooks on you, and you want to keep watching.
Yeah, exactly. It's very dark, so it's good because obviously in this time you have to make it dark, right? It's war torn
Mm.
Berlin, right? It's just the way it feels, it
Yes,
looks, it is what it
there's
is.
no way to sugarcoat it. There's no happy stories
Right,
here.
exactly. So I thought it was really, I'm enjoying. I think I'm 5 episodes in. If it ends badly, I'll probably touch back next week, let you know, psych. Or if it ends well, okay, yeah, for sure. You continue watching if you haven't seen it. Really good show though. I'm really enjoying this. I think it's again, not, I want to say go as far as say it's must watch, but it's top end filler, right? I mean, I think that's a good way to put it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's very very good show, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And
absolutely.
I guess it's a slow time of the season, so this may be a show you want to get started on right away. So it wasn't too bad.
Hmm.
The last one here, and normally we wait to the show, and when we talk about it, want to finish the show and watch, and talk about it afterwards, right? If it's worth it. But this one is an anthology. I figured why not talk about it because it's a independent episode, so why not? And that's, of course, we talked about it last week, and that's What If on Disney Plus, where I think you liked the first episode more than I did, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
I
Yeah,
thought it was good. It was nothing.
it's a good
Yeah,
start.
the
It's good
star. What
laying out the
I
groundwork.
wanted to really take this what if concept to a whole new level, and here we go, episode two, and that's exactly what episode two did. Where
Cha
with the
cha.
first one failed, not only they made a switch with one of the main characters. In this case, we have T'Challa, of course, Black Panther, voiced by Chadwick Boseman.
Chadwick
Rest in
Boseman.
peace. So it's kind of sad to see that little thing at the end. But he's actually the one instead of Star Lord. He's the one that gets picked up by Yondu and the Ravagers from Guardians of the Galaxy. And yeah, that's almost like with Agent Carter. How they switched that. But then the difference is in here. All the beginning starts off like, okay, we're gonna get another Guardians just with T'Challa, but no, it veers off into this kind of adventure, Ocean's 11 kind of thing, a heist, if you will, heist thing. Well, I'm all in, son
Son
of
of
a
a
bitch.
bitch.
And
I mean,
and not just that, but having him there influences all these other characters, and all these things changes. For example, Thanos. He's now he saw the light, right? He's T'Challa's influence on him, and although he'll still joke around, which is funny about the whole well, my way was efficient, as far as killing people. But he's more of a good guy in this for the most part. So there's a lot of other characters that changed as a result. So I found that great.
I
This
mean,
was
we got Nebula
Nebula.
change. We had the Collector change. We had the Ravagers completely
Mm-hmm.
change. Peter Quill's story completely changed, but they kind of just give us a little sneak peek at that at the end. Um, and even the Wakanda story changed because obviously they bring that back literally back to the
Right.
beginning with at the very end with the reuniting himself with his dad, who still obviously didn't die because of the events of Civil War and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot. So yeah, this is one where one little change, but the impact and the ripples are felt, literally galaxy wide, and how people's perceptions change, how characters change, how the story developed, and made it very very interesting. I mean, I would think it was a stellar
Yes. This
stellar
this was an
episode. I
excellent
mean,
episode. Just
I
great.
mean, when I started seeing the opening credits and literally started reading out the names of everyone who is in this episode, I was like, "Holy cow!" I
Yeah.
mean, they got everyone
Yeah.
back for this. I mean, Josh
Mm-hmm.
Brolin, Chadwick Boseman, Karen Gillan, Seth Green.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little Howard the Duck
Howard Duck. Yeah.
cameo, a la from the original Guardians after credits. Um, they brought back the character James Gunn. I don't know
Sean
Sean
Gunn.
Gunn. Sorry, his
Mm-hmm.
brother. Sean Gunn. They brought the
Michael
character who
Michael
played
Roker. Yeah.
Michael Rourke
Yeah.
was
Who plays
there. Yeah,
Yondu. Mm-hmm.
or Michael
Roker.
Rourke, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The guy who played Taser Priest. I mean, literally everyone that they could find, they brought back into
Yeah.
this episode, which is like, oh, I knew this. And once I started seeing that, I was like, oh, this is gonna be big. This is gonna be
No,
huge,
yeah.
right? Benicio del
Mm-hmm.
Toro. I mean, he came back. I was like, whoa, man, okay. So they were serious about bringing back the voice talent. To lay out the groundwork and lay out stuff, but I think it was done superbly. It was good action. It was unique. It was interesting. It was uncovering all the Easter eggs and all the changes that were ongoing throughout the whole episode. Everything, every turn, it was something different, right? I mean, in Endgame and Infinity War, his Thanos' henchmen were his lieutenant, but here they're basically the muscle for the Collector, and so it's like they brought in all these elements and just kind of focused on all these changes that were ever going, kind of being evergreen throughout the progression of the story.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was so well done, and this one really raises the bar for this show. So I don't know if I talked about it in Nurse Playing that I don't know if the rest of the show is going to be able to top that, because it's so good. It doesn't have to top it, but obviously now you, based on what we've seen, I don't want it to go back to like we did in the first episode. Well, it's fine.
Mm.
This is exactly the show, what this show should be, right? Taking this perspective and just completely changing everything, all the circumstances surrounding that situation. That's the way it should be. I hope it continues that. We'll see. But yeah, this was a great episode. Even if you're not big into this, and if you like Guardians and all that, and you're not sure about this show, just watch this episode, and I think you'll be fine. Essentially at the end of the day,
Yeah.
it's really, really good. So, but that being said, so there you have it. What if the Defeated for sure, Chair definitely. I think it's a watch. Sweet Girl, Nice Strangers, and Reminiscence. Whatever.
Go see a Sweet Girl.
Right, you got 4 hours to kill. Great, watch Sweet Girl, and then the last 2 hours rest Reminiscence, I guess. Whatever. But yeah, have your phone next to you. You might be on the phone watching Reminiscence, trying to keep your mind off what's going on the screen.
Exactly. Reminiscent about what you could
Right,
do.
exactly. If you're stuck at home, you know where to go. All right, and then pop it in, little Hugh Jackman. All good. But
actually, I do want to bring something up. I haven't watched it yet, but I think I'm going to throw it out. I'm taking a chance. I'm going to throw it out as a recommendation.
What's that?
And because I'm going to wait until all the season drops before I go watch it, because I don't want to spend the money monthly for the show. But it's a Starz show. It's called Heels. And so if you're a fan of wrestling, Man Beast currently is. I was. Obviously, we grew up in the 80s and 90s, so we had the original WWF, Junkyard Dog and Hulk Hogan, and then into the 90s where we got into
Coco Beware, man.
the Heels with the NWO, and the D Generation X and all that stuff. So we were into the time now. I see we grew up a little bit, but I've seen enough reviews. I've read things. I've read snippets from people like Trust, and they say this is an excellent show, even though it's in the Starz. So I'm going to check it out, but I'm going to wait until it's all out. I think it runs through October 14th, and so then I'll after it comes out, I'll spend the week watching it. Always for my formal review.
Watch this recommendation, and you wait till the show drops and do the 7-day trial. Binge the show and then cancel it right afterwards.
Yeah, we kind of did that with ANC Plus.
I did it with ANC Plus.
Gangs of London.
Yes.
But I think with Gangs of London from the first trailer, we were like, we're in.
We knew we wanted to see that show from the beginning. Right. So absolutely. And I think people will do that. A lot of Dexter fans will probably do that for Showtime when that comes out in October. You jump in, jump out, that kind of deal. So whatever. So yeah, that's always a trick. Apple Plus is like shows like Ted Lasso, which we'll probably talk about next week because it's so good. It's such a good show. We got to talk about it next week or whatever. But that's a show you can go in there, wait till season 2 ends, get the Apple Plus for I think they got like a week trial, a month trial, whatever it is that they do. Jump in there, watch that, and then get out because there's some shows that are worth watching.
I mean, you never know if they put out enough content, you keep it. Like I've kept Apple Plus because they put up enough stuff. I mean, I saw For All Mankind, which is an excellent show. I started watching Ted Lasso. I started watching a couple other shows that I've enjoyed. I'm looking forward to some new shows that are coming out.
They got a couple shows coming
this month. So absolutely. So I think there's much watch.
It looked very interesting. So this is one of the ones like, okay, is Apple Plus worth?
But getting back to Heels. So this is obviously a wrestling centric show between two brothers, one good, one a heel, and the dynamics kind of seen behind the curtain in a certain sense of what goes on backstage. Right, not about the show and the glamour on the front and the ring, right? But I'm gonna definitely review it come October once I'm able to watch the entire series and it drops.
Yeah, I think we should have other co-host joining us, I believe, soon enough. So he's a wrestling fan, so I'm gonna assume he's seen it or have potentially started seeing. I'm not sure.
Oh, we'll see. Yeah, I don't see why he wouldn't if he's a big.
Yeah, he loves wrestling. He still watches now, so I'm sure it's that's up his alley. So we'll ask him if he's with us next week or not, whether he has or not, because I am curious about the show. I just didn't get started right away. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff to going on and all that. I'll suffer the Reminiscence, if that's what it takes.
Yeah, we got, like I said, we got Titans, we got What If to keep us busy. There's some other shows that we're watching that are keeping us plenty busy. So
and it's like there's movies dropping, movies dropping weekly. There's plenty to watch, and like I said, we're here to watch it for you and let you know if you should watch it or not. So that being said, that's all the time we got this week. So remember, next week we're gonna set the table for September. We got a few shows coming out next week, not a lot, but obviously, hopefully, the quality is there. This was a better week than last week at the end of the day. So, hey, you win some, you lose some. So that being said, Chewy, always a pleasure, and we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.